Hi everyone, my name is Gizem Kaya. I work at the food bank as the food security manager, and today Izumi invited me to share a little bit of my background and culture and Turkish foods. And I wanted to do something that also showcases what you can make with what you can get at the food bank. So what you see today here is the vegetables that we currently have at the food bank. All the stuff is actually, a lot of it is donated. So the zucchinis came from the Pemberton Edible Eden farms. They donate to us weekly. And then the cauliflower came from Myrtle Hops Creek farm. So thanks to those farms, we are able to hand out these beautiful vegetables at the food bank. And one of the things that is a Turkish background is it's very Mediterranean, vegetable-based, cold dishes that you would eat during summer months. So today I'm gonna share a zucchini fritter recipe. It's called mücver in Turkish. And then I'm gonna make a little bit of a yogurt dip that will go with that. So it'll be like a garlic cucumber yogurt dip. And then I'm gonna roast the cauliflower as another side dish. They're very quick recipes, but it's just dill, zucchinis, onions, and then I will be adding some things from home. So it's a very low budget food too. I will be using flour, sea salt, and oil to fry it. There are different ways of doing these fritters. You can, if you want to be healthy, bake it in the oven, but the traditional way is to fry it in a pan. So I'm gonna go with that because it brings out the flavors the best. So the one way to do it is to grate the zucchini. My roommate actually happens to have a food processor, so I'm gonna use that, but you don't need that. I'm just gonna start by chopping the zucchinis, just the ends of it. And then I'm gonna cut them into fours before I put them in the food processor. So I'm just gonna add these zucchinis into the food processor. And this is a traditionally zucchini based meal, but you can use potatoes instead of zucchini. You can use carrots, whatever you have. So before we fry this, we want to get the juices to come out of there. And to help that, I'm gonna actually put some salt. Salt brings out the liquid in the zucchini, and I'm gonna just mix it with my hands. One of the reasons why you want to get the liquid out is if you're frying something with a lot of water in it, it just splashes and burns you right back. And the next step is putting this onto a strainer, and then I'm gonna squeeze it. So as I squeeze some, I'm gonna put it back into the bowl. So you're gonna need 2 onions, and onion is the thing that's gonna bring the flavor to these patties. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour the onion right into the zucchini. You don't have to worry about the liquid with the onion. Some onions will have juice in here. If you can just put it all in there, that's fine. So then I'm gonna mix these. Then I'm gonna put 4 eggs in here, and that's gonna be the binding thing. And then I had frozen dill that I just defrosted, and I'm just gonna add that. If you can find fresh, that's even better. The other thing I will add is I'm gonna put this into the food processor as well. I'm gonna use the whole thing, everything from the white end to the green tips. single bit. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more salt because salt is, Turkish people, we eat things with a lot of salt. It's part of it. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is flour to this. Even though we took the liquid out, the flour is gonna help us bind the eggs with the zucchinis. And in good fashion of not measuring, we're gonna do 4 spoonfuls, heapfuls of spoons. So I might add a little bit more salt and a bit of black pepper. I'm gonna pour oil into the pan and I'm gonna start heating that up. And I'm pouring quite a bit of oil. I want them to swim in there because we're frying it. I'm not gonna mix this too much because the more you mix it, it just doesn't turn out that great. You also don't want to make this mix and then leave it in the fridge or anything. You want to make it fresh and right away because otherwise the liquid just comes out of it and it turns into a bowl of water. That you want to definitely make this meal right away. So yeah, we can start flipping those. With, oh, we've kept these a little too long in there. So in Turkey we drink mineral water and throughout the day. It just helps with indigestion, and it always comes in these like traditional green glass bottles. So, and today is a pretty hot day in Whistler, so I'm just gonna get you to try one of these. This one comes out of the ground and it has actually minerals in it. I don't think soda water has the minerals. It's gonna taste a little bit more metallic too. I'm just gonna simply roast this in the oven. I did preheat the oven to 500 degrees, and all I'm gonna do with it is just coat it with a bit of olive oil, salt, and lemon, and then we'll serve it with a bit of yogurt dip to it. Yogurt is very essential for any meal in Turkey. You'll get a bowl of either plain yogurt or garlic yogurt, and if you're not dunking yogurt on your meal, I don't know if it's even considered Turkish. So just a bit of oil, and I'm gonna squeeze lemon and salt again. Coat it. So typically I'm just gonna try and make like a Canadian version of the yogurt dip that we make. The reason why it's Canadian is because you can't really purchase the same type of yogurt here. It's usually very thick and creamy, and it's full fat yogurt that you would get, and it would be like a thicker dipped thing. You can get a cheesecloth, and it's a whole process. If you wanted to use regular plain yogurt, you can still reduce it to that. For the cucumbers, we would, and what's so interesting is that in Turkey you only get the little short cucumbers. I got these garlics from, I think it's called the Helmer's potato stand, and they are so good. So this is like, and then just a little bit of olive oil. So typically you would serve something like this with black tea, and in the Turkish culture black tea is very integral. So you'd wake up drinking the same tea, and then you'd make another pot in the middle of the day, and then you'd even be drinking it after your dinner at like 9 p.m. People aren't worried that they're not going to be able to sleep at all. They're just constantly used to drinking this. It's loose leaf black tea, and it's a concentrate that you kind of boil it, and you would serve mücver next to it as a little appetizer dish, or you'd have dolmades, and yeah, it's all about having little bites of different things. Right. So let's enjoy it. Instead of saying bon appetit or enjoy it, you say afiyet olsun, and then so that's what someone who cooked the meal would say. And then the people who are eating it would say ellerine sağlık, and that means health to your hands. And the underlying message there is so that you can keep making us these delicious foods.